Hi guys, welcome back to In Her Prime. I'm Elise.
And I'm Dom.
This week we're talking about how to find your inner circle in your late 20s and how to maintain friendships when it feels like everybody is busy or moving away or working or has relationships, all of that.
I feel like when I have things that are going on in my life, especially like right now, I really understand why having such good friends around you is like fundamentally so crucial to your well-being. And not just because I don't want it to come off as, oh, because I'm going through something, like I need my girlfriends. And when I'm going through great moments in my time, like I don't care about those around me. I think I think there's nothing more beautiful than having great friends around you, and like people that you know that when the door closes, when you're not in the room, that when you're not even around them, they're advocating for you and they are supporting you and they are loving you. And I think this is a topic of conversation that comes up honestly in every single podcast that we do. It kind of just like wiggles its way into the conversation of friends, losing friends, maintaining friends, having better friends. I hate my friend, like this friend sucks. Like you're always talking about friends. And I think it's important to understand, and we're going to discuss this later on in the episode, of like what are things that we do or what are things that we want to be doing to make sure that we're showing up as the best version of ourselves to maintain those friendships. Because I know now, like the girls that I have in my life, I want to have them around for 10, 15 years. Like I want you there.
I think it's really important to me now, having really close friends and having sort of solidified a circle. And I'm really seeing the challenge it is to make new friends now because as I become busier, I'm an introverted person, so I find it really tedious and like kind of taxing to put the effort into making new friendships. And I think on those weeks or those months where you're so busy that you just want your comfort circle, I think it's really important to have those friends in your circle and maintain those friendships and make sure you're putting time and effort into those friendships so they'll always be there and they have your back, and even when maybe your effort is not 100%.
Yeah. Before we dive into friendships, we obviously start off every episode with Peak and Pit. For those of you that know or don't know, something really good that's been going on in our life. Doesn't need to be serious, can be as unserious as you want it to be, and something that sucks or something that you're struggling with or just something really shitty that happened last week. Do you want to start off with your peak?
My peak is, if you've been following along, I have been going through a bit of a skin journey. February and March.
She's actually 14 years old. She just hit puberty. Her period came yesterday. Like, she's been going through it.
For real, like I developed adult acne.
Yeah.
February and March, I was having
I
really
thought I was
bad.
gonna get it just by association. I'm like, get this shit away from me. Like, why are you 14? Like, get away.
You don't understand. So February and March, I was having really bad cystic acne on my chin and my jaw, and honestly on my neck. Like
Your abs?
one after the next. It was just not going away. And coming from somebody who doesn't really deal with acne, I was sort of at a point where I was like, A, what do I do? And B,
You're like, Dad, like, please, like, send any prescription that you have. Yeah.
And B, my confidence is in the mud. And I don't know what to do because makeup does not cover acne.
No.
It doesn't.
And it can't cover texture.
And it hurt. It was a mess. So I tried every product under the sun, and I'm here to tell you that products don't work. That is not what is going to fix it. It might if you have like some facial or you're getting microneedling or you're getting extractions, all these things. But just from like everyday products, I tried everything.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something adding on to that. One of my close girlfriends, she has literally, her and I talk about this all the time. She has had horrible acne, like literally adult acne that started last summer, and she has tried, when I say every product under the sun. She's asked me for my skincare, her best friend for her skincare, her other friend for her skincare. She's tried every spot treatment at Sephora. She's gotten facials done, everything. And she has now come to the conclusion that it is not product, that it is something hormonal. And she's now finally going to a naturopath. And I said, I'm like, get your blood work done, get your hormones checked, do a food sensitivity test. I'm like, what if you have a dairy intolerance? What if you're gluten? Like, and because it literally, she's just breaking out on her chin. And she was like, Dom, like, and I've seen it firsthand. she will treat one side of her face and the pimples are gone, and then literally the next
It'll
day
go
they
to the
all pop
next.
on the other side, and she's like, how?
Or what I was dealing with is one pimple would go away, but there's one underneath.
And then
And
it's
it
like,
just one
yeah.
after the next, and it was to the point where I was like, "I do not know what to
Yeah.
do." And
Then it also just went away.
okay, so but I know why it went
Stress?
away. So, obviously, it's a hormonal acne
Yeah.
situation because it was on my chin and everything, and I have had, like, menstrual and hormonal problems in the past, and I, like, got a period really late and all these things, so I have dealt with things in the past. I also have celiac disease. So, lots of things could have been contributing factors. I have a very sensitive stomach, and my thing is I get blood work every couple months. I am, like, that friend that is constantly getting
Dom, we're
things
getting
done.
our blood work done. Let's
Like,
go.
I'm over here, like, I got a pelvic MRI last month. Like, I'm getting shit done. And everything is in check
Check,
and it's
yeah.
normal. So, my dad called me in a prescription for spironolactone, which is actually a blood pressure medication, but it's supposed to sort of, like, lower your testosterone levels a little bit in case, it might show up normal, but just let's test it
Yeah.
out. That got rid of it, and
So are you on
works
it now?
miracles. No, I did it for, like, a month or 2, and it was great, and honestly, just lowering my stress. And honestly, I will say, as soon as I stepped foot on the beach and I was in the ocean for
Acne
1
gone.
week, my acne was gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Maybe we should just move."
So my peak is a little more lighthearted than that, but festival season is now back in Toronto, which I'm super excited about. If you know me, I love to party and I love techno events, I love house events. I'm like all up in that scene. So the first Electric Island opening weekend is next Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, I'm just really excited. Like I love that stuff. So if I go MIA for 2 days, like I'm dancing.
That's where she is.
I'm dancing away with a double tequila soda in one hand, another one in this hand, glasses on, hat on, like incognito. They're like, "You're the girl from House of Movement." I'm like, "No,
I'm not.
I'm
It's not me.
eyes like just
They're like, "Where's Elise?"
I'm like,
She's not.
she's in bed.
She's in bed.
They're like, "Ma'am, it's 8 p.m. on a Friday." I'm like, "Yeah, she's in bed." No, but I'm honestly, I'm really excited for the summer. Just excited for like everything that we have with House of Movement. I'm excited to go out. Like the warm weather is happening. Like patio season is upon us, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Pit for you.
My pit is I have been feeling slightly not confident. I just feel like I go through, like, ebbs and flows, and I feel like stress the past couple months, I'm gonna be
You also like
honest.
we're the same. Like I stress eat. Like
Yeah.
I indulge. Like if I'm going through something, like my face is in a bag of chips,
Yeah.
candy, something.
I'm
And
gonna
that
be honest,
contributes to
like,
it.
the past few months have probably been the most stressful
Yeah,
months
it's been
that
a
I
lot.
have had in forever,
Yeah.
and obviously, I don't talk about it or I don't show it to people, but behind the scenes, like, it has been weekly mental breakdowns for months, and I feel like that has just caught up to me, and you can just
But when
see it
you're
in my
like that though, you
face.
don't work out and you don't sleep properly and it all contributes to the way you feel now.
Yeah.
But you've been like slowly back on your
Honestly, I've been
grind. You
getting
did
back
an
to
8
it.
a.m. berries today.
We did
Which is
berries
great.
today. I booked another berries for Wednesday. I
Yeah.
had 2 last week.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get back in the gym.
Yeah.
I find it hard to re-motivate
Yeah.
yourself.
But it's just that like first bit because like when I fall off, I'm like, I want to die. But this as soon as I'm like 3, 4 classes, I'm in the gym once a week, I feel so good. Like you crave that like the motivation. And then it's like motivation leads to discipline and then you just get back into your routine.
Well, I
But
think
it's just
I've
that
always
first
been the
little
type of
bit.
person, like, since grade 10, from when I was, like, seriously modeling, which at the time, obviously, wasn't, like, a healthy habit, but I was, like, religiously working out, like, 6 days a week throughout university. Like, I would study all day, hit the gym, like, really hard. It was just a thing that I liked doing. It was, like, a relief. But then I moved to Toronto, and I think the gym plays a major factor into my motivation for going.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I go to a nice gym, but it's always packed. Toronto gyms
That's
are
why you
always
have to
packed.
go at 7 in the morning.
They're busy at 7 in the morning
Okay,
now.
so then go at 6.
Ugh,
Yeah.
man.
Like I'm a morning workout. At least it's like I'm morning 10 a.m. I'm like, no, babe, morning is 6:37.
No, no,
Like
that's too early.
like I love like a 6:30, 7 a.m. class, like home showered by 8:30, like day started.
No, like, you'll catch me at 9:30 berries.
That's not early.
my time.
That's like late morning.
Yeah, well, not as late as my boyfriend, though.
Man, it's 12 p.m. He's like,
Dom slept over last night. We went to Barry's this morning, and we get back to the apartment today.
I'm like waiting for breakfast to be ready, my coffee there, my milk froth, a robe laid on the floor for Elise and I. What do I get? He's like,
Still
dead. I'm like, dude, get up. Get up. Okay, my pet is I have come to terms. Okay, this is gonna sound so stupid and like maybe I sound a little like an airhead right now. Dogs are really expensive. Like very, very, very expensive. And now that I fully like I take care of my puppy all by myself, but it's just like it's just a lot of
break down the
money.
numbers for somebody trying to get a dog because this has prevented me from getting one.
Okay, so I feed my dog raw food, and obviously that's everyone can have their own opinions on it. I have had 2 dogs before. We've fed them raw. It's been great. Their health has improved, their joints have improved, they lost weight because of it, their coat is so much better, and do your own research. I'm not gonna go and convince you, but the raw food that I feed her is $275 a month, give or take. So let's say just 300 for that, and then and then I get insurance. I don't have insurance for my dog, but every month I take $75 or I take $100 and I put it into like a little fund because I'm like, God forbid something happens to her. Like I have like extra like money for a rainy day sort of thing. And you would pay the same if you're like paying into an insurance. So I take $100. So that's $400 a month. And then my dog goes to daycare quite a bit just because we're filming podcasts. My parents go to the cottage. I just need the extra help. I want to go away for the weekend. Like when we were in Miami, like my dog boarded at daycare quite a bit. And then I pay in daycare maybe $400 to $500 a month.
Mhm.
So it's like $900 a month in my dog, plus treats. Just like she gets a little pup cup from time to time. I take her to I took her to Pet Value the other day and like I got her a new collar and I got her some like bones and like sardines. Like why was that 130?
I mean, I think you look at it and you live at home,
Yeah.
which is great, but
For
like for
someone that
somebody
lives
like
downtown and
me,
then pays for their whole life and has a condo and has I'm like, Jesus Christ. And don't get me wrong, I don't want anyone to hear this and be like, "Oh, she's complaining about her dog." It's just it's just like a real reality of just how expensive it is. And obviously there's things like I could get less expensive food. I don't need to board her all the time, but I also like I want to go out. I'm young and I have the privilege that I can send her somewhere that I know takes care of her and trusts her, but it's just expensive. And it makes me like need to work harder and like I need to work at the restaurant and I need to like do extra things to have money for that. But it's not a pit, it's just I see the bill, I see the invoice for daycare and I'm like, God damn woman, get a job.
okay, let's get into this week's
Okay.
episode. When it comes to maintaining a friendship, what are 3 ways that you feel like you show up for your friends?
I feel like I am some like I Okay, I'm gonna read a text that I got, but I'm gonna explain why I'm reading it. I'm the type of person where I genuinely, and this is because like I need it. Like I need it as a friend, so I put it out there so I know I kind of have set the expectation of what I like. I like someone that checks in.
Yeah.
I like someone that or I like it, but I love to check in. Like if you told me something or if you I know that you're going through something or if I know that a family member's sick or if I know that like you have an important meeting at work or something stupid, your boyfriend has this, like I remember those things and I love to check in. I think it's important. I think it just speaks so much on like the way that you pay attention when they talk and the conversation goes a little bit deeper. I actually had a friend of mine who was going through something I would say maybe a couple months ago, and she sent me the sweetest message. And like, granted, her and I were really good friends 2 years ago, and absolutely nothing happened. Like, life just literally got busy. And I would occasionally like check in from her from time to time, but she was going through something. This was back in January, and she had sent me a long message, but I'll read one part of it. She's like, "Thank you so much for your kind words. I truly love and appreciate you like no other friend. Believe it or not, you've been the most patient and kindest person to me through all of this. I believe good people recognize good people. You're an exemplary human. I'd love to see you this week. Are you free Thursday by any chance?" And I remember reading that and I just thought it was like, it made me feel so good, but I love seeing the acknowledgement of like I love checking in, whether it's like a simple phone call or if I know a friend, like my friend Bianca, like has so many meetings at work and she's always so stressed out. Like I love just being like, "Hey, how'd it go?" Just like taking a minute to remember, whether it's like something super small or something big, because I think it means so much.
I will say one thing about Dom is my boyfriend always says that. He goes, Dom calls you 17 times a day.
Hey, you're different
But
though.
the thing
But
is
you're different. You're different.
yeah, but the thing is like, we're constantly on the phone,
Yeah.
constantly. We'll end a call and be like, "Oh, okay, I'll call you later." Literally later is 5 minutes later.
I'm like, hey.
"Yo, what are you doing now?"
But I only call Elise because like I can like work on like my job and we'll always just be like talking about
Yeah.
something House of Movement related or just talking. But I love to text. I love to check in. I love to call. Like when I'm driving to Pilates, like I have a rotation of like 7 friends that I just like call because I'm like if I didn't speak to you at some point this week, like I just quickly it's like call in like, hey, how was this, like whatever. My friend Alyssa, like she's I love her, but it's our schedules just don't align. Like she teaches dance, she doesn't go out because she's a client in the morning. When I can't go to her Pilates classes because it's right in the time of like one of my meetings. But like I always just make an effort to call her, and she always says to me, she's like, Dom, she's like, you're one of the few people that calls me. Like just like even if she doesn't answer, like I'll just call, and then she'll pick up. She's like, I saw your call, like I was waiting for you to call again. Like I just think that's important. Like people to just like
I was waiting for you to call.
yeah, like I love and I love
You are.
yeah.
I think that is a very important quality to have that not many people have, and I think it takes a certain personality type to want and because you can't force somebody to be like that.
Yeah, like I
You
genuinely
genuinely
even with
just
how
have
busy
the
the
type,
yeah,
that personality.
I think with regardless of how busy I am between this and podcast and working at the restaurant and my dog and my friends and going out and trying to like actually not throw myself off a bridge, through all of that, I'm like I love talking to my friends.
Mhm.
Whether it's about just filler bullshit or whether it's about like something like, hey, like what's going on? I think that's super important and like that's my way of like showing up and being there for them. How
I
about
mean,
you?
I think that is a really important quality to have.
Yeah, how about you? What's one thing that you do?
I think my style when it comes to friendships has shifted over the years. I feel like as I have grown into myself and become more confident in who I am and what I'm doing and what I bring to the table, I feel like I have never been the type of friend that will be texting you all the time or that will
And this is
be
where we're
seeing
different.
you all the time. And I just I've always been a very independent person and a very introverted person. Like I don't love to go out. I like to go to dinner and to a Pilates class and do these things, but it will take a little bit of effort to get me out. And I think I do have my circle of
Yeah.
people that I'm comfortable with that, you know, two of the girls are people that I lived with at university and they don't live in
In Canada.
Canada,
Yeah.
but I still FaceTime them all the time and I talk to you all the time. And I feel like I have a really hard time genuinely making new deep friendships at this point in time. I would say like all of my deep friendships are people that I have known for years. And it has like either I lived with you at some point or I have a company with you or something like that. So that is a goal of mine this year to start just like getting out of my shell a little bit and just sucking it up and putting in the effort and, obviously, like, the win is there at the end of the day. Like, it is very important to have people in your corner and have friends that really have your back. But with that being said, I think open communication is something that I really value in a friendship and something that is really important to me when, like, maintaining a friendship that hey, if I haven't spoken to this week, just shooting that quick text of like, hey, I have a really busy week.
Mhm.
I'll call you next week
Yeah.
type of thing. Or,
Like, hey, I'm just going through something.
yeah, if I
Yeah.
was supposed to see you tomorrow, hey, something's going on. Let's do something next week. Or just having that little bit of open communication where, hey, it's not personal that I'm not talking to you, or hey, it's not personal that I didn't answer your text from 4 days ago. I just don't have the mental capacity right now with work and,
Mhm.
like, just life is consuming me. And I
Mhm.
feel like at the end of the day, your true friends will understand and just, like, be able to acknowledge that and be like, "No worries, no problem," because if I think about my one friend in the UK, I know that she's been sort of dealing with something recently where we normally FaceTime every week. We haven't FaceTimed in a couple weeks, but no problem. Like, I'll see you when you're here. What's your second one?
I would say just being I need people in my life that are gonna be super honest with me and check me and, like, tell me when I'm doing some pretty fucking crazy, wild, batshit things, and I need to do like, I expect it, so I just wanna give the same thing, and it doesn't need to be like I need to sit you down and we need to have an intervention, it needs to be, like, this whole serious thing. Like, just being honest with as silly as, like, "Don't wear that." Like, just or as silly as, like, "Hey, I don't think you should do that," or giving my honest truth about decisions that they're making in their life or the way that they're moving, or they're trying to explain to me why they feel a certain way, and, like, if I genuinely feel in my heart of hearts, like, "I think you're wrong," like, I'm gonna say that.
I think that's hard to come by though, if I'm being honest. Like, I think even with deep friendships that I have had in the
I just
past,
don't wanna walk on eggshells.
I think true unfiltered honesty, like the type of honesty that you would have with a sibling,
Yeah.
is very
Yeah.
hard to come by.
Yeah.
And I think if I were to genuinely think out of all of my friendships who I could really say anything to them, and it could be negative and it could hurt their feelings or it could hurt my feelings or whatever it is, I honestly think you're the only person that I can feel like at the end of the day, you know that I'm coming from a good place, or I know that you're coming from a good
Yeah.
place, and you can say whatever you want. Because at the end of the day, you're always filtered a little bit with somebody.
Yeah.
I can have really deep friendships, like my friends overseas,
Yeah.
but there will be a level of filteredness just because I feel like having a business with somebody makes you so unfiltered.
Yeah, I think you and I are extremely transparent in that sense, like, there's nothing that we can hide from each other because 'cause it'll come out regardless professionally or friendship-wise, but I understand that not everyone likes a super harsh take on things, and I'm obviously not gonna sit here and just, like, tell you, like, XYZ, like, "I think you're doing this wrong and, like, you're ugly." Like, I'm not gonna be, like, that level of honest, but I think just being friends with someone that I know or being that friend to someone that I know I can just tell you how I feel, and if I think that you're moving a certain way or if I think things are off, like, me being honest and then you being open enough to receive it. Like,
Yeah,
I think you need 2 people for that kind of
it's a
dynamic
two-way
to
street
work,
for sure.
because I can't just sit here and say to someone, "Okay, well, like, I think that you're acting weird, and I think that you're doing this wrong, and blah, 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 blah," and that other person's just gonna, like, slam the door in my face because, like, they don't wanna hear it. I think both people need to have a level of emotional maturity and just a level of understanding of what's going on, but
Yeah,
that's what I think I bring to the table in friendships. Like, I wanna be honest, and I expect the exact same thing.
yeah,
Honesty on, like, all fronts. Honesty with, like, you being honest with, like, the things going on in your life, with what you're doing, with how you feel,
yeah.
and honest enough to, like, receive, I don't know, like, critiques and not take it as, like, "Oh, you're a bitch and you're out to get me." It's just like, "No, I'm being a friend."
Yeah.
That's something that's super important to me.
I think something else that I feel like is very important when maintaining a friendship is just having their back. I think, for example, say your friend is fighting with somebody else or and it's in a public setting or whatever, having their back whether you agree with it or not, and then behind closed doors, you can share with the friend if you,
Mm.
felt like they could have gone another direction or your honest thoughts. I just feel like at the end of the day, you need people in your corner in all aspects of your life, and if you feel like your friends don't even have your back, then I just feel like, then what are we here for?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, friends are here to have your back, and
Yeah.
you don't have to agree with everything I do, but you don't need to, like, confront the situation in front of other people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like, you want kind of, like, tying it back to what I said at the beginning, like, knowing that you have people that are just, like, there, like, they
mhm,
care for you and they ride for you and they're just advocating for you when the doors are not like, when the door is closed, because then it's like, what are you here? Like, why are you taking up space for absolutely no reason?
yeah,
I would say my last thing is something, honestly, that has kind of taken a little bit of me to like, a while for me to grow into, but not being envious and, like, not being jealous of my friends and understanding that their wins and their successes are all of ours.
yeah,
I think for a long time, and I think this came with a lack of immaturity, when I would see other people, like, doing better, having better things, having a boyfriend when I didn't, I always felt so I was like, you know, Like, that's
Yeah.
like, that's bad. And now I'm like, "No, like, I'm so happy for you." Like, I'm sitting there on the sidelines, like, cheering you on, like, me and my dog, like, we're right there. Like, that I think having people tying into, like, being in your corner, but understanding that, like, your friends and them succeeding, it does not take away from you and does not dim your light, and it does not make you less of a human or make you less of a woman. Like, it just
I
and
mean,
I
my third one is the same because I
yeah,
think even for example, like, I think not only celebrating wins, but, like, including
yeah,
friends, and I think I'll use my relationship as an example. I always want when it's just me, my boyfriend, and Dom, I always want it to feel like it's the 3 of us,
yeah,
not like me, him, and Dom,
yeah,
or like me and Dom and him.
yeah.
I feel like it's really important that everybody feels included and that everybody feels
Give the example of Friday when I
Friday
called you.
night, for example. I'm gonna use Friday night as an example.
That is, like, the perfect like, I feel like you're gonna explain it and, like, no one's gonna get it, but, like, you need to say Friday as an example, and then it'll make sense. Long story short, I called Elise at 2 in the morning, and I was like, "Hey, I'm coming over, like, can you, like, just leave?" Basically,
Like,
I was something
happened.
happened, like, I was drunk, and I was like, "Hey, I'm, like, 15 minutes away from your place. Can you just have, like, leave the door unlocked?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay." I like, honestly, I hang up the phone, I'm like I go about my night, I'm like, I don't know, hitting my vape, I don't know what I was doing. She literally sends me a message, I'm not even joking, 4 minutes later, in the guest room, her boyfriend is setting up the blow mattress, they're, like, putting out my sheets, they have a ring light as my nightstand, and she's like, Your bed's ready." Obviously, I didn't make it,
Yeah.
but,
I
like
wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Why aren't you in your room?"
she's like, "Breakfast is ready, like, we're here, like, we're waiting, why didn't you come home?"
I mean, I think
But, like,
that's
that
one
is,
thing
like, an
I love
example.
that honestly, that's one thing I love about my boyfriend is
Like, that man is
it's
just, like, rides
one,
for you.
he rides for me, but he rides for you.
Yeah,
And I think the thing is at the end of the day, I told him about the situation at 2 AM. Immediately, "Is Dom okay? I'll go set up her room."
yeah,
Immediate, no questions asked.
yeah,
And that is so important to have
yeah,
people like that in your corner
yeah.
because if you don't have that,
You're screwed.
then what are we doing?
Yeah, you're screwed. You're
Yeah.
screwed. And I think boyfriend or girlfriend or
Yeah.
not, like there's a level of security and there's a level of comfort and it feels like a warm hug
Mhm.
when you know that there's friends. Like I know right now 4 friends that I could just like call and I'm like crying and I'm like I need you and it's like okay, like what like where are you? Like what can I do? Like where are you? Like just that gives you it makes you feel so good. It's like obviously like calling your mom or calling your sister or calling a sibling, but to have people that are not family and that genuinely just ride for you. Like
Yeah.
that just makes you feel like that makes me feel so good. And I think it's really hard to get to that point because you could feel that way about someone, but to have two people at the same time who feel that same way about each other and just have this like mutual level of understanding and respect, I think that is unmatched
And
and
I
it's
think this
so
is your
important.
sign that if you are not receiving this in friendships, somebody else will give it to you, whether it's a friendship,
Yeah.
whether it's a relationship. At the end of the day, you don't need to settle for anything less than what you deserve. And I feel like we're always getting questions about my friend isn't showing up for me in this way or my boyfriend's not showing up for me in this way. At the end of the day, somebody else will.
Yeah.
And it might not be right now and it might not be this year, but it might be next year or
Yeah.
it might be 5 years from now. And I think being able to be confident enough in yourself to either like approach the situation and confront it for what it is or be able to step away and
Yeah.
feel like there's something else.
Yeah. I just to like finish off this episode, but there was something that I saw online and it was I honestly can't remember, but it was a podcast that I was listening to and he literally ended it off being like I always get so many comments or I always get so much hate about how my standards are so high and the things that I expect are so unattainable. And he said he was like if I can give it, I can receive it.
Mhm.
And it was like if I can give these amazing qualities, like, there's absolutely no reason why I can't receive it, and there's no reason why my standards are so high and the things that I'm expecting are they're not out of this planet, and they're not, like, so unattainable, you just can't give them to me, and, like, whether it's a friend, like, if a friend can't give you honesty and she can't be transparent and she can't show up for you, and if she can't call you as simple as, like, "Hey, like, haven't talked to you in a bit, but, like, congratulations on the job," she sucks.
Yeah.
They suck, and if you can give it to someone and if you can dish it out, then you sure should expect the exact same
Yeah.
thing.
And I think at the end of the day, if somebody cares enough,
they'll do it.
they'll do it.
Yeah, or they'll change, or
They'll
try.
change or they'll try, and I think take that for what you will. Because for myself, like, when I don't really 100% care about a situation, whatever it is, could be a work situation, you will not see 100% of my effort.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. I feel like this was very insightful,
Yeah.
and I think
I love talking about friends, and I think it's something that you and I are so passionate about, and I think it ties in so perfectly to House of Movement, which is kind of why this is always just an underlining topic of conversation, but I don't know, I love talking about it, and it also kind of just, like, keeps us in check.
Mhm.
Like, when we talk about these things, I'm like, "Am I doing them? Like, am I being a good friend?" And I think there's ups and downs with friendships, and sometimes you don't show up how you wanna be, but just, I don't know, listen back to this episode. Keep yourself in check.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. As always, follow us on House of Movement and our personals, and let us know what you want us to chat about next.
yeah, and what guests you wanna see.
Yes. Okay, bye.
We'll see ya.